Coming up next, going to give you a 3-part process to try to identify the dream job, and then how to handle frustration. We'll take your calls and your chats, and it all starts right now. I am coming to you live from Nashville, and it is our beautiful, beautiful Ramsey Studios here in the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions. And we've got some folks out here already ready to go and watch the show. So excited to have you with us here on our YouTube live stream. You're joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how to get there. It's about your purpose, and your purpose isn't actually about you. It's about others. Finding that contribution through your work is our goal, the contribution that you were created to fill. And that's where meaning and significance join your work life. And so we want to help you figure out that connection between your personal mission and your professional vision. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. So I want to go over just, again, 3 quick steps that will allow you to begin to see the ideal job, whether it is the next job on the rung of your ladder to your dream job, or to just figure out what the dream job is and then figure out the ladder. Now, we talk about this every day on the program, but it bears repeating because it really is a simple 3-step process. This can be a very intimidating thing to kind of go, all right, how do I, Ken, if I'm figuring out the sweet spot, and then I'm like, how do I find the marketplace match? And so again, we're going to teach the basic 3-step process of getting clear. And that is, number 1, you've got to know your top talents. Whether you list out 3, 5, or 7, whatever it is, be very, very clear on your talents. And then when you're clear on what you do best, you want to essentially create that list and almost take a line at the bottom of the list and say, my talents, parentheses, tools. Because you now begin to say, these are the things that I will use like tools. If I was going to go create a garden today, I would need some tools to be able to take that dirt or that grass and this bare ground and turn it into a functioning garden. There would be tools necessary, ingredients to plant. And so whatever analogy you want to use, okay, now I see these are the tools. Second thing we're going to look at is the type of work that you love to do. And now you want to stop thinking, because our brains always go to job title. Stop thinking about job title. Think function. The actual things you do during the day that you really love to do. If you were to walk around and go, well, I do this drains me, but this lifts me. It gives you the juice. And you just want to identify, I just love the actual function or the role. When I'm filling this role, I really, really love this. And so you're looking at, you're making that list. You go, okay, this is what I want to do during the day. So any job description that I look at needs to essentially match up to our second list, which is passion, what I love to do from a work standpoint. And then the third piece is the results of the work that matter to me deeply. That's mission. And we look at results and we say, okay, I want my work ideally to produce these results. Now you go, well, Ken, I have a hard time with the results. No, not if you go back and look at the type of work you love to do. You've already defined what that work is, so you know what that work produces. So don't overthink this. It's actually really simple. You go, okay, these are the results that matter deeply. So now that you've got those lists, this is what I do best. This is what work I love to do. And these are the results of my work that I most want to produce. There is your checklist. And you look at job descriptions. Okay. And before you even get the job description, let me back up a second. First you go, okay, what are the types of jobs that would allow me to do this right here? To use what I do best, to do work I love, to produce results that matter to me. And you look out there in the marketplace and you go, oh, okay, here's all these analyst roles. If you know, you've got the talent and the analytical skills to be able to do, and you love analysis, I'm making this up as a position, okay? So data analysis or whatever it is. But you look at that and you just say, okay, this is what I'm looking for in the marketplace. What are all the types of jobs that would allow me to do this? So we've got a good idea. So now we search for those type of jobs. When we see jobs in that area, we look at the job description. Again, they're doing the work for you by simply saying, this is what is asked of you. This is what we need. And you take that job description and it's like laying it like a stencil over something. And you just take your talent, passion, and mission results and you lay it over the job description. And you go, does this match up? And folks, that exercise is so clarifying and so freeing for you to be able to see the things that you can actually do. And so that's how you find, we're looking for these, we find them. We see these jobs, we go, oh, there's so many areas that I can go. And that'll give you that boost of confidence to really take the next step, which is get qualified. And so that's the process. Don't overthink it. Just do that. And it becomes a beautiful, beautiful set of boundaries that keeps you in that sweet spot. And you see plenty of jobs, plenty of career paths that will allow you to fulfill that contribution. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577 is the number. Let's go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Jenna joins us there. Jenna, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. What's up today?
So I have had my own business for about 7 years. Been a little bit unsure, frankly, since the start, if it was really what I wanted to do. And it's finally getting to the point where I'm realizing financially and just, personally, emotionally, it's not fulfilling me. And it's just every day, it's like, oh, when I get up. And I've filled out, like you said, the talent and passion. I know what my strong suits are, but I'm having a really hard time putting it all together and just taking myself away from where I am right now and just finding a new path.
Okay. So let's walk through it. Let's see if that arrow points you somewhere specifically, because I may see something that you don't see. So what are your top talents?
I'm very organized. I'm great at planning. I feel like my communication skills are very good. I think I'm really good with just interacting with people. So I feel like that's kind of...
All right. Let me read those to you. Okay? Because this is really fun. We're off to a great start. So good. I wrote down organized, planning. So organizing, planning, communicating, connecting. Those are the 4 top talents, right?
Yep.
All right. So folks, following along, this is fun. Jenna was created to use her top talents of organizing, planning, communicating, and connecting to do work that she really loves. That work is passion. What do you got?
This is where I struggle.
Okay, well, don't. So before you even start telling me how you struggle, I want to stop you. All right?
Yeah.
Because it is my belief, Jenna, that the things that we humans are good at, we generally like to do them as well, correct?
True.
All right, so let me ask you a couple questions. Do you like doing work of organizing?
Yes.
Oh, so can I put that on the passion line?
Yes.
Oh, great. All right, let's see here. Do you enjoy planning?
Love planning.
Oh, boy, did you hear that? You actually like planning more than organizing. The only reason you like organizing is because it allows you to then come up with a plan.
True.
Oh, folks, how is it that I'm saying these things and I don't know Jenna? Oh, I'm just having fun. Let's keep going. Do you enjoy communicating publicly, or is it more one-to-one?
I would say more one-to-one.
Okay, great. But you enjoy the one-to-one interaction?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. And when I say, do you like communicating in the workplace, tell me what that looks like for you.
I feel like I'm a better listener than I am a speaker.
Oh, good.
So I feel like that's definitely my strong suit with others and just more understanding.
Okay. And that's the connecting as well. That empathy.
Yeah.
You pretty high on empathy?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So now that I've got you started, what else, when we think of the type of work you do during the day, now that I got your brain warmed up, what's not on that list? Because all I've got right now is you enjoy doing the work of organizing and planning. What else is not on that list? Just think of the workplace during the day, the things that give you the juice.
I the high point I would say for me is so I run my own in-home bakery.
Yep.
And I would say the most rewarding part and what gives me energy is when someone comes back to me and says that whatever I made for them made their day, made their whole party, whatever. When they're happy, that's when I get the reward. So It's not even, the preparation for me or the baking and decorating. It's just the finished product of hearing that they're satisfied.
So you jumped ahead, and I'm okay that you jumped ahead because it's still the right answer. But you just gave me mission, the results that matter most. And the results that matter most to you is a satisfied customer, somebody who goes, oh, I put that cupcake in my mouth and I thought my brain was going to jump through my ears or whatever. Right?
Right.
By the way, I got a great one for you. An old guy that used to go to my dad's church would say about great food, he'd go, that's so good, my tongue was going to beat my brains out if I put it on top of my head. It's like, so that's what you want to see. So again, the work itself, there's more to it than organizing and planning. What is the work itself? You go, I enjoy doing this work. I want you to think about if you didn't have recognition for it in the form of praise and pay, because that's the way we get recognition, okay? What would be the work that you love to do? Do you love baking? Do you love the cooking and baking something, creating something?
I think the actual cooking and baking, I don't feel that excitement or passion.
All right. So is there anything else besides organizing and planning that you get excited about doing in the workspace?
I do like when people give me kind of free rein to design something or create whatever.
Ooh, tell me more.
I can come up.
No more whatever. Give me some examples of how you design, create. Design, create what?
Like when I can come up with a way to incorporate the little pieces of information they give me into, say, a cake design, and then I'm really happy with how it turns out. That does fill me up.
There we go. So it's not the cooking as much as it's the creation. It's really creation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see where this is going? Let me read this to you. This is a working purpose sentence for you. Jenna is going to use her talents of organization and planning and communication and connecting to, and I'm going to put in here, to listen to a customer, then design, create a solution for what they want. And that's involving that organizing and planning to the design itself for the purpose of bringing an aha moment, a wow moment.
Yes.
Pretty close, right?
Yeah, that sounds, yeah.
So I'm wondering if you've lost the passion or you're just frustrated because you're doing things as the CEO, chief everything officer, and you've not gotten to your own sweet spot in your own company. I'm wondering if that's what's really going on. Now, I don't care if you say, Ken, this helps, and now I know I need to go do this for somebody else. I don't want to do it for myself. That's fine. But it sounds like to me, you have the opportunity to do this in your business, but you're the chief everything officer. And at some point, you're going to have to eliminate some work or delegate some work.
Right. Okay.
No, you tell me. I mean, what do you do tomorrow? Now that we've walked you through this, and I don't care if the answer is, I'm not going to stay in my business. What do you do tomorrow, knowing what you know about your sweet spot right now? We just went through it. What do you do tomorrow if you knew you couldn't fail?
That is the hardest question of all.
I know, but it isn't because you're just afraid to say it. There's something in you that's afraid to say it. You and I just got super clear together. So what do you do? If you knew you couldn't fail and you just wanted to try something, I think maybe you're worried about committing the next 20 years of your life. What would you try tomorrow? If you knew you couldn't fail, money wasn't an issue, what do you do? What are you thinking about? Why don't you just say what you're thinking about, and I'll tell you if it's a crazy idea.
I've thought about going back to school. Because I went to school specifically for baking and pastry, so I didn't get a traditional degree. Okay. So that is a concern for me too. If I wanted to switch careers, having to go back through school.
You didn't answer. You didn't answer me. There's a thought in your head that you're not telling me, and you're going to have to trust me. Tell me what you would do tomorrow. Would it be stay? Would it be to fix your business? You'd go, Ken, I would hire this person and this person, this person, and I'd keep doing my business. Or there's another idea in your head. There's a job where you go, this would be amazing. I would try this. What would you do?
I have thought about staying and fixing, making changes to what I offer, changing up my business plan. And then I've also thought going back to school, possibly in something in the medical field, like nursing. So that's honestly what
Why nursing? Why nursing?
I feel like I think it is my strong suit, like I said, kind of that one-on-one personal interaction. Mm-hmm. And I could see that being rewarding for me.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I think there is the fear of, closing the business, and then that's, that door's closed.
How many people do work for you right now? Is it just you?
It's just me.
Okay. And how much money did you make last year?
About $25,000.
Okay.
I do have a part-time job. I didn't mention that.
Oh.
That I kind of supplement. So this is another, it's like I feel like I can't give all to my business because I'm kind of splitting my time.
Do you need the income from the side hustle and the part-time job, or are you just doing it to do it? Or do you have anybody else are you married? You got a double income? What's going on?
I'm not married.
So you're single.
The part-time job, yeah. The part-time job really is, I have great benefits actually through my part-time job. So that's kind of what's drawing me to stay with that. Okay. Is the insurance.
I think you could do more. I actually think that you need to go back and spend the weekend thinking through what would I do differently in the business to actually grow it. What would I do if I knew there wasn't any risk? You've got to allow your brain to think that way with the business. And
that does scare me.
Because I think it's possible for you to spend a year really building this business and taking it to the next level and going and sitting with some people that are actually successful in bakery. You know this idea called the proximity principle? I'm going to give you my book right now. But I think you got to start hanging around some successful people who run bakeries or some type of a bakery service, and you got to figure out how they got where they are. This is not complicated science. They'll tell you. Mm-hmm. And I think you got to figure out that, because I think you could do both and. I think that the business could fund your nursing school to where it's not stressing you out, and you eventually hire somebody to do a lot of the stuff you don't want to do in the bakery, which is actually the cooking. But if you're, if you stay involved in the creative side and train somebody to even do the creative side, this could be a great business that you keep for the rest of your life. And be a full-time nurse and have this thing on the side and get into the website of delivering. But I mean, I don't know that you have to say either or here. I think you got some homework to do. So hold on the line. Madison, let's give her a copy of my book, The Proximity Principle, whatever format she wants. And that's where she's at, folks. She needs to get around the producer. There's 5 people I write about in the book, The Proximity Principle, and the producer it's an archetype, but it's a person who's successful in your area. So think your zip code, who's very successful in the field or in the exact business that you want to be in, and you want to try to get with them. Why? You want to add value to them by going, I admire you. Some may see you as a competitor, most won't, because you go, I'm a little fish. But I admire you and what you've done. I'd love to pick your brain. And you do a college research paper on how they built their business. Those are the answers that you're missing. You get those, game changer. 844-747-2577. Let's go to Joshua next in San Antonio, Texas. Joshua, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm living the dream. What's up, Joshua?
Hi, I listened to your book twice, The Proximity Principle, but I'm considering taking off next semester of school to volunteer at church because I don't know what my passion is or what I'm good at. Do you think that's a good idea?
It might be. I need to know more. I don't like the idea of you taking off a semester of school to volunteer in an area if you don't know that it's the area that you're really interested in. And so if you don't know your talent and passion, I want you to know that first. Then we could think about what the strategy might look like to take a semester off to really get immersed in that industry to clarify and verify, which means clarify what's involved in the job itself, what it looks like, and verify with your heart that that is in fact what you want to do. So you may have said it in a different way, but do you know, or are you interested in being in ministry in the church world?
No, just they have a lot of opportunities. Like they have the camera, which is so far I would say my favorite class that I took is photojournalism. I mean, like, so they don't have that, but they have cameras, so I can mess with the cameras.
Yeah, but I don't think you have to take a semester off to do that on the weekends. You just become a part of the camera crew, volunteer on the weekends.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
That doesn't require you to stop school. What is it that you've dreamed about at this point? Any point in your life where you said, I wonder what this would be like, or I wonder if I did this when I grew up, would I be very happy? Has that ever crossed your mind?
That's why I'm in school. So so far, like, the only class that's been stuck in my mind is like a class I took last semester was photojournalism, and like I was literally like in that class taking so many notes. It was 2 hours long, but
you loved it.
Yeah.
So
I loved
just
it.
for fun, if I could make a phone call today in San Antonio, and I said, hey, I got a guy named Joshua. He's a friend of mine. The guy's a rock star, loves cameras. What would the job be that you would want me to set up for you? What would you be doing?
I would want to go downtown and take pictures of all the news value stuff because you're creating it. I would pretty much want to be a photojournalist. But here's the thing. I love the photo part, but just as long as my job doesn't require writing too many papers. I don't mind doing a caption. Like when you read the paper, there's a small little caption at the bottom. I can do that for a career.
Yeah. I get it, but that doesn't have to limit you. And I love that you're aware of a weakness there, and that's great. But here's the deal. I would encourage you to do some research on all the types of jobs that photographers can have. So, that's taking, if you really want to do the journalism piece more than anything else, then I think you go for it. But understand that there's more out there than just photojournalism. You understand that, right?
Oh, I would love to know that.
For instance, you could take pictures of families, of weddings, and there's lots of things you can do. Here's what I think you should do. My homework assignment for you is, so number one, no, I don't want you to take a semester off of school. I want you to stay on that path towards photojournalism or photography major or whatever, because it's going to open up so many connections for you, because that's really why you want to do that. But you may find that you don't even need to go to college once you do some more homework on what's going to make you a really good photographer. I want you to find some YouTube classes on photography. Lighting, the types of cameras. There's so much on YouTube that's free that can really teach you how to be a better photographer. If there are some inexpensive webinars, classes online, I want you to do that and really become a great student on what it takes to be a great photographer. While you're doing that, you need to be more interested in hanging out with photographers who have successful businesses in San Antonio. It's like our previous caller. It's the proximity principle. Get around successful photographers. Find out what they do, how they do it, how they charge, what they charge. And in doing so, Joshua, you're going to find out the type of photography you want to do. And you might confirm that you want to do photojournalism. So what do? You need to find some people in San Antonio that take photos, and then they either may be full-time for a paper, but that's not a great gig anymore. Newspapers are in trouble. So they might be doing multiple things with their photography. And so that's what I want you looking at and discovering, okay? That's what I want you to figure out, and then you're going to get really clear. 844-747-2577 is the number. Let's go to the chat room. Brian Ray says, sorry, that's not the one. Quick Colby. I have a new opportunity that will put me closer to family. It comes with similar pay and responsibility. However, the cost of living is higher in the new city. Should I make the move? Well, this is not a clear-cut yes or no for me. But you did give me enough detail to where I'm going to push to you the ultimate question. The responsibility and pay are similar, so that's a good thing. My question is this on the same or the current job you're in? I hope it's on the ladder towards doing the work that you really know that you were created to do. Are you in your sweet spot or headed to it? So if that's the case, and this is, again, similar responsibility and pay, then that's a sure, let's do it. But the cost of living is an issue, but you are closer to family. Does your heart say, I want to be closer to family? If that is an absolute yes, then I think you look at this and you go, all right, let me run the cost analysis. How much different is rent or mortgage? And again, that's just going to come down to the price of housing. So can I, if I move a little further out from where the job would be, can I make it apples to apples as it relates to your rent or your the house costs? Gas, taxes, those are your other things. So you got to run that analysis and go, all right, how much higher is it? What does it really look like? We hear, it's cost of living's higher, but you've got to really apply that and go, okay, dollar for dollar, what's going to be different? How's that going to affect my budget? And if you can make some sacrifices early on and not take a massive hit to your budget, I say do it. But if it's a really negative effect on your budget and put you in a really tight situation, I'd question that. I'm not saying no, but you don't want to just make a move to be around family, but be miserable while you're around them. So this is a budget issue on this particular question. Let's see. Chris, this is an interesting question. How do I boost my confidence when I'm preparing for an interview that is not in my primary language? That's a really good question. Here's what I think you have to do. Take the elephant out of the room right out of the gate. Okay, the elephant in the room is you speak one language and you're going to have to do an interview in a secondary language for you, and there's some challenges there. Now, I'm assuming in this question that you speak this secondary language good enough to do basic communication. I'm assuming that. If that assumption is correct, then what I think you do right out of the gate is go, hey, listen, as soon as the interview starts, hey, can I just say thank you for this opportunity? I am so grateful. I must tell you that I'm a slight bit nervous because this is not my primary language. But I assure you, I understand what you're saying. And I might, be patient with me because it might take a little bit for me to express it perfectly, but I understand everything. It's not going to affect the job at all. But just want you to know, I'm a slight bit nervous over that. To me, that is a very disarming action. And that's what I mean by taking the elephant out of the room. I'll give you another example. I've had parents call. One call sticks out to me. Lady called in. She says, my son's 23. He has Asperger's syndrome. And so sometimes it affects how he communicates. And but he communicates fine. It's just sometimes there's a slight bit of awkwardness. And she said, what do I do? How do I help him prepare for the interview? Well, here's the point. He can do all the preparation that he wants to do, but the fact of the matter is he's got this challenge that he has to deal with. And so I think you address it right out of the front. I had another lady call in whose husband had a head injury a decade ago, and it affects how he communicates, but he's a world-class mechanic on these oil rigs. And she goes, Ken, the guy's got an incredible resume. And he's the best there is. The guy can fix anything on an oil rig. But the problem is his speech is a little slow at times because he had this head injury, but he's totally fine. And he's great. He's got all the references. She says, what does he do? And so both of these situations, plus this one, I said, start right out of the gate and go, look, I'm high functioning Asperger's. High functioning. I'm really good at it. what I do. Every once in a while, my brain will mess with me, and this will happen. And yet, it won't affect my ability or this interview, but I just want you to know, it is what it is. I've overcome it, and just wanted you to be aware so you're not uncomfortable. See, and so the same thing with the mechanic. Said, hey, I had a head injury. Does not affect my ability to do the job. You'll see with all my references and all my qualifications, but just want you to know I'm not going to speak as quickly as everybody else in the interview. And by owning that and humbly addressing how you deal with the challenge daily, you've overcome it, and it doesn't hamper your ability to do the work. It just might make for an awkward moment, but if I tell you up front, you won't be awkward. Here's what happens. I think the interviewer goes like this. Oh, okay, great. Because if you don't address it and you're used to it and you know you're going to overcome it, but you haven't addressed it with them, it's going to be a little awkward or weird for them because they may start to feel bad for you. But if you go, you don't need to feel bad for me. I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. I'm good. It just is what it is. Then I think it takes it all over. So same thing with the language. It's impressive that you speak one language and this is your second language and you're still trying to get it, but it doesn't hamper you, and call it out right out of the gate. I think that's the way to do it. Now, here's the asterisk to that advice. Just because I say that's the thing you should do, and just because I believe that the person on the other side of that interview should go, oh, okay, great. Thank you for letting me know. I'm good. I'm relaxed now. I'm not going to feel bad for you. I'm not going to be awkward. That's how they should react. I just want to put it out there. That doesn't mean that they're going to react that way, because you may have some unhealthy people who don't know how to handle that. An unhealthy person will judge you for all of those things. We can't allow all of our possibilities to be on the shoulders of unhealthy people. We just keep going. If that happens to you, we reload and we try again. And hopefully you get to a healthy person who goes, oh, great. And they admire you and your courage to say that out of the gate. And then they judge you on your merits, not your challenges. So that's what I think there. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. I want to speak to those of you out there that are in a season of frustration and it's starting to move into discouragement. I want to speak to you just for a couple minutes, because this is something that happens to all of us. It's a part of the deal. It's a part of life. It's a part of the price to play ball. There are going to be times where you're frustrated. And I'm speaking primarily right now on frustration around scenarios that you can't control. So you're doing everything the right way. It hasn't happened yet. Or you are acting the right way and a difficult person that has sway over you or influence over you is unhealthy, and they're making decisions that have affected you or are affecting you. Whatever the situation, you know it. You're frustrated right now because you feel like I'm doing everything I can. It's not happening. I'm frustrated. I've been there. And here's what happens. Whatever's going on that's the source of the frustration, here's the reason it gets to be frustrating is because there's a sense of powerlessness. And you go, oh. And so you go, I have no power over this. I can't do anything, or it feels that way in the midst of frustration. And the discouragement starts to set in because of the frustration. So the frustration leads to discouragement because we feel like we don't have any hope. That's what happens. And it gets really, really tough. So how do you handle frustration? And so I'm just going to, from my own personal life, just going to give you a little tip here. The discouragement that comes from feeling like you have no control, that can be combated by going, I actually don't have any control. The very thing that's creating the discouragement, you need to actually embrace and go, I don't have any control. So it goes from this. I like to do the visual, and we're on video here. It's this. You go from, I have no control. I have no control. To, I have no control. I have no control. And so now you're shifting. That last response is because you go, I can't control it anyway. So for me to stay focused on the areas that I cannot control and try to, in my mind, somehow reason them out, it's not going to help. I've got to shift to what can I control? What can I focus on? And when we do that, the frustration will eventually alleviate because we go, okay, what can I learn from this? What can I learn? What can I do different? What can I do better? How can I avoid this? You analyze it from a standpoint of, okay, can't control it. What can I learn? Is there anything at all to learn? I believe there always is something to learn. May not be a lot. Sometimes there's a lot to learn. Sometimes there isn't. But we just go, okay, what can I learn? And now we go, boom. All right. My situation, I've said this before on the show, is not my sentence. And so if you're in a season of frustration, it is your situation. How can you change your situation? What can you do to change your situation? And sometimes it's nothing more than just looking ahead and saying, I'm going to stay. I'm not going to quit. I refuse to quit. Franklin Delano Roosevelt once said, when you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. And so sometimes that's all you can do. And instead of frustration and desperation, you go, I'm going to get determined. I'm not going to get discouraged. I'm going to get determined, and I'm just going to hang on. I know if I hang on a little longer, help is on the way. So the way to deal with frustration is to let go of what you cannot control and focus on that desired future and what you can do, even if it's just hanging on. That's how you handle frustration. There's no magic pill for it. You're just going to have to step into the fact that you don't control a lot. And so embrace it and go, I don't control it, but here's what I can control. I can control my effort. I can control my attitude. And that's what I'm going to do. I can control my actions, new actions. That I can control. Everything else I can't. And so I got to let it go. Try that. And I think you might begin to really allow frustration to dissipate, just like anything else that comes in life. Oh, I just got hit with that, then it's gone, right? And that's the deal. You just deal with it. It's kind of like the skunk I ran over the other day, Joe. Yeah. Ran over a skunk. It had just gotten hit, and I must have been the next car by, and I wasn't paying attention, and there's nothing I could do about it, by the way. It's in the middle of the road that I'm on. So I drive over it, and it's fresh. And it's just like, oh, man, that stench is going to be on me for the next 5 minutes or so. What do? Do I pull over the side of the road and sit there and go, now, why did that skunk run across the road there? And who's the idiot that ran over it? Now it's affecting my smell. And I can't do that. What do I do? Tell me, Joe, what did I do?
You went to a car wash.
Yeah, I just kept driving.
Well, that too, yeah.
I kept driving. And you know what? By the time I got home, couldn't smell it. You just keep moving forward. You don't stay in the stench. You don't sit there and go, oh, woe is me. No. You go, all right, that happened. Got to move forward. And you're right. You go to the car wash if that's what's going to take care of it. Thankfully, I didn't touch the skunk with the wheels. I just went over it.
A slight grazing.
A grazing, and it dissipated. And your frustration will dissipate as well. So there you go. All right, folks. Hope that helped you. Thank you so much for being with us. Before I let you go, I want you to know that you matter. You do have what it takes. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.